So the things are doing to sabotage your can. So the first thing your parents are doing to sabotage your chances of playing college basketball is they're trying to live through you. And so what does it look like when a parent is trying to live through their kid? It often looks like the parent who is very boisterous on the sideline. And it's okay to cheer, but as a coach, I notice when the parent is louder than the player. That's a red flag to me. When the player makes a three and the player is humble about it, goes down court and acts like it's supposed to happen, but the parent is not just celebrating and clapping and cheering them on, but they're talking trash to the other team. They're talking or being very celebratory just for you. That's my baby. There you go. Show them what you got. And they're making it all about you instead of about the team. That is a red flag to me as a coach. And the reason why that is a red flag, because one, they're making it all about you, and they're stealing some of your shine. And two, if they're that loud all the time, I know it's okay when things are going positive, but I know they're probably going to be that loud when things are going bad as well. And when you have a parent like that is so vocal all the time and can't control themselves, then it often ends badly if things don't go exactly as planned, because they'll be very negative and they can steal the show and they can zap the energy of the team. Because the kids and the other players, they're expecting the parent to bring that same energy no matter what. But oftentimes the parent can go downhill after a few turnovers happen or after their child isn't playing. So as a coach, that's definitely a red flag if they are louder than you are on the court. So one thing to do might be to have a conversation with your parent and tell them to feed off your energy. If you're getting loud and amped up, then they can get loud and amped up. If you hit a three and it's business as usual, they clap and it's business as usual. And tell them to let you dictate how they should be. And I think that will help coaches understand, hey, they're not trying to steal the show from my kid. They're just supporting their kid. That will help them understand. And that way it looks like they're not trying to steal the show from you. They're just there supporting you. So the second thing that your parents are doing that are sabotaging your chances of playing college basketball is they're blaming the coach and other teammates for your mistakes. And this is a big one, especially when in combination with the first issue. If you have a loud parent who also blames the coaches and the other teammates for things that you do wrong, or if the team is just playing poorly, it's never your fault, then they are actually hurting you in multiple ways. One, you're damaging the relationship with the coach and the other teammate because we hear it, we see it, we feel it. And then also, they are hurting your mental toughness. Because if nothing is your fault when things are going bad, then guess what? When things are going right, it's also not your fault. And you're not a contributor. So as a player, you want to always feel like things are in your control. Always. If you're not playing, you want to feel like, oh, it's only a matter of time before I get on the court because I'm going to dominate in practice. When I get my minutes, I'm going to dominate and I'm going to make the coach play me. If I'm in the game and we're not playing well, you should feel like, hey, well, I'm about to step it up this quarter and we're going to come back. That's the mentality that good players have, especially players who are going to go play at the college level. Because if you think about it, at most high schools, especially the public high schools, if you are a college prospect, a kid that's going to play college basketball, when you look on the court, there's 10 players on the court, maybe 4 will be going to play college basketball most of the time. Everybody's not going to play college basketball, right? So what should happen if you put a kid who's going to play college basketball on the court with kids who can't play college basketball eventually? Those kids should shine, right? those kids should be able to dominate the game. So if you are actually truly one of those kids, you should always feel like, oh, it's only a matter of time before I take over this game. And it doesn't really matter what everybody else is trying to do or what my teammates could make a million mistakes. I am going to will us to win. But if your parents constantly blame the coaches and blame other teammates, then they're pretty much saying that you're not good enough to overcome all of that. And that's not a signal. You want your parents to feel like, hey, my child is good enough to overcome the odds. And that's the type of player you need to be in order to go play college basketball. You need to be the player who overcomes the odds, who can overcome their teammates making mistakes, who can overcome their coach potentially making a bad call or having the team in the wrong defense. You can make plays no matter what situation you're in. And so if your parent is blaming the coaches, then it signals to college coaches that you are not going to take accountability when you make a mistake. And so when I hold you accountable in practice, you're going to struggle with that. And you're going to think, oh, it's the coach's fault or it's my teammate's fault, instead of looking in the mirror, watching film and seeing how you can get better. And so that's going to rob you of your opportunities of self-reflection to be the best player you can be. So how do you fix that? Again, got to have that tough conversation with your parents. You can't look to the stands when you make a mistake. If your parents are being loud and vocal and trying to give you feedback when you should be listening to the coaches, love when you just stay locked into the game and you tune out the noise. And I'm going to tell you what, that is great preparation for college basketball. Because if you know college basketball, the fans get a little rowdy. The things that I've had fans say to me, they talk about your parents, they dig up information about your hometown, about your social media, and everything is fair game. Everybody's saying crazy stuff to you to try to get you off your game. So if your parent is yelling in the stands and you have your blinders on, it is an amazing thing to see you just lock in. Coaches love it. But it's a huge red flag if they see you glance up at your parents while the game is in progress. It's a huge red flag. That signals to the coach that, oh, it's not just what I say. The parent has to give an okay. And that is something that no coach wants to deal with. They want you to execute what you need to execute, what they say, what the game plan is, and that's it. So have that conversation with your parents, but better yet, if you don't have to control your parents, again, you're going to control what you control. If you do not respond to your parents during the game, they will learn to not even bother talking to you during the game and save it for after the game. So the third thing your parents are doing to sabotage your chances. So the third thing your parents are doing to sabotage your chances of playing college basketball is they are not holding you accountable for your grades or for your character. The kids who are held accountable by their parents for their grades and character, those are the kids that coaches dream about, because they're going to come with that discipline already installed in them, that they're going to get good grades and they're going to be able to recognize when they have a poor attitude and they're not behaving how they should around the team or in class. Those are the kids that often are the easiest to coach, because when you give them feedback, they're used to getting it at home. So it's not that big of a deal. They correct it like that. So it's important that you go to your parents and you ask for that. If you're not getting it, ask them to hold you accountable, because for you, it is going to take a support system. It's going to take multiple people holding you accountable. So when you get off task and are not keeping the main thing, which is school and basketball, you need people around you to be able to remind you what's important and how you should be acting on a day-to-day. And so the parents who take the phones when you get bad grades or take the car away or ground you, those are actually the parents that are setting their kids up for the success. And it's very hard as a teenager to recognize that, I know, but if they do that and you go along with that, you're going to be better off in the long run. Because college coaches 100% look at your grades, and they don't just look at one quarter or one semester. They look at the consistency of your grades during your whole time in high school. And they look at how you respond to criticism from your coach. They look at how you respond to adversity when things go bad in the game or your teammates make mistakes. So it's very important that you are used to getting feedback and responding well and making a correction. And that is training that's done at home. And so go to your parents, tell them you're trying to go play college basketball and you want them to help you do everything in your power to make that happen. And I guarantee you, they will love it. Your coach will love it, and you will be better because of it. The fourth way your parents are sabotaging your chances of playing college basketball is they are allowing you to make the decision when it comes to who you train with and where you go to school. I know most of you think it's your choice. You should be able to choose where you play because you're the one that's going to be on the court. You're the one that's going to be in the classroom. But honestly, if you knew it all, you would be a 4 and 5 star kid. But honestly, if you knew it all, you would be a 4 and 5 star kid, and you wouldn't need anybody's help, and you would be able to make it on your own. The reality is you need support. You need to put, in reality, you don't know it all. You need a team of people to support you and help you make decisions. And that's where your parents and trusted coaches are friends of your family who have your best interests come into play. So I'll give you a story. So for example, I had a kid, really good point guard, probably could have at least got him to a Division II school. He ended up transferring his senior year to a private school. And he went because one, I guess the coach was promising him a Division I scholarship. And if you know about coaches who promise offers or scholarships, you know that it's very fraudulent and they cannot be trusted, and you need to run as fast as you can away. And then number two, the school had Nike jerseys. And at the time, I can't remember what our jerseys were. We had Under Armour uniforms. And so he wanted to go play for a Nike school. And so it blew my mind that that was even a factor in transferring schools, but it was. And that is a prime example of when it's not good to just let a teenager make a decision, because we were all teenagers at some point, and we know that sometimes we don't make the best decision, and we need a little guidance. So whenever you're going to make a big decision as far as transferring schools or even deciding who to train with, it's important that you sit down with a team of trusted people. Hopefully you have somebody in your life who's been there, done that. And if you don't, that's why I created this channel, is because I'm going to give you gems and I'm going to educate you. And so you're going to walk in with all the knowledge you need to make that informed decision about who you should train with, when you should transfer a school. You're going to have that if you keep watching this channel. But hopefully you have a trusted group. And if you don't have a trusted group, parents and whoever you know has your best interests, sit down and put all the information on the table and do the best you can to make the most informed decision. But it should not be solely up to you. It's easy to make a mistake, and you see it all the time. There's so many kids, especially nowadays with the transfer portal in college and in high school, they make that decision and they go and they don't play, or they go and they would have been in a way better situation had they stayed, or sometimes they stay and they should have went. But it's never an easy decision. It's never an easy decision, and that's why you always need to have the support and have multiple brains helping you think it through. And that kid who ended up transferring because his coach promised the Division I scholarship, well, it turns out that coach didn't even record his high school game. So at the end of the year, when it's time to get recruited and potentially sign offers, he had no offers, no interest from not a D3, not a JUCO, definitely not a D1. And he didn't even have game film because the coach didn't record games. So he got to play in his Nike jerseys, but he had no game film and no highlights for his senior year. And he ended up not playing basketball. So that is why it's important to make an informed decision and have everybody on deck. And his parents did not want him to transfer. And that's why I make this point. His parents didn't want him to, but they let him make the decision. So it's important that you all make the decision, and your parents probably need to have the final say because they have more experience in life than you do. And I'm not saying your parents always need to have the final say, but 9 times out of 10, there needs to be a trusted adult who makes that final call, because you really need to But during your basketball journey, you really need to pay attention to those who are invested in you and try to find trusted adults to help you make that final call in case you do have to make those big decisions along the way.